Attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes.
It's a beautiful day in St. Petersburg, Florida, but it doesn't matter because we're going to be playing under a brand spanking new roof at the Trop, where it is time for baseball. As the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball to New York Yankees against the Tampa Bay Rays in the first of three from Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball. I'm with Joe Girardi. I'm Michael Kay. Just a quick three-game road trip for the Yankees, and we see someone we have not seen yet this year on the mound for the Yankees, and that's Luis Seal. He'll be opposing Steven Matz. Steven has gotten off to a good start with the Rays. Luis Seal last year, 4-1, 3.32. The big question, he was great in 2024, not so great last year. Which one are we going to see?
I think you're going to see the 2024 version of him, because what I saw his last start in spring training, his fastball was electric against the Baltimore Orioles. And we're going to look at this fastball here up in the zone, and it's got that little late life, that little cut, the outstanding changeup that he could throw down in the zone. And he's got a really good slider, too. Michael, he keeps it simple. He's a rarity. He's only got 3 pitches. Fastball, slider, change, and he's going to go after the Rays tonight.
What a year in 2024. Remember, the first half of the year, Garrett Cole was hurt, and he saved the Yankees. Last year, he was on the IL early, and those are the numbers, 4-1, 3.32. But he was not the same pitcher for sure. Now, he's not facing an easy lineup with the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays have a leadoff guy that's faster than anybody in baseball, and the 2, 3, and 4 in their order, it's a tough one to navigate.
Yeah, that 2, 3, 4 is extremely dangerous, and they moved Caminero out of 4 spot to try to protect him a little bit. He's got power to all fields. 45 home runs last year as a 21-year-old. This is a changeup as well, and he's going to spray the ball, and they're hoping to get him going. Jonathan Aranda has been great this year. He was great last year, missed 2 months with a wrist injury, but you're going to see this long home run at the Trop. He leads their team in RBIs, and then you have the oh-so-professional hitter in Yandy Diaz, who sprays the ball all over the field, has power to all fields, does not strike out, and just truly knows how to hit, Michael.
Yeah, these 3 guys all know how to hit, so it'll be interesting to see how Heel deals with them. Caminero, well, Joe mentioned 45 home runs. Only Eddie Matthews had more as a 21-year-old. Jonathan Aranda last year was injured a couple of games, but he still put up good numbers. And Yandy Diaz this season, 2 home runs and 10 runs batted in just 12 games. We told you the Trop is all fixed up and new. It's a different ballpark. Last year they played in George M. Steinbrenner Field, but they're back home. Meredith Marakovitz has more when we return right here on Yes.
to Yankees baseball on Yes at Tropicana Field for the first time in 638 days. Hey everyone, I'm Meredith Morakovitz. Tropicana Field has been through it over the last 2 years. In October of 2024, Hurricane Milton rolled through the area and ripped the roof off of the Trop. In November of that year, it was announced that the Rays would play at GMS for the entire 2025 season. Now, in November of 2025, the final panel was installed here at the Trop. In January came the turf, and then just this past Monday, the Rays opened this place back up, defeating the Cubs 6-4 in their home opener in front of a crowd of over 20,000 people. Earlier, I asked Aaron Boone what it's like to be back here at the Trop.
Good. It looks great. It really does. It's brighter. It's brighter in the clubhouse. You know, it's brighter out here. I think it looks really good.
And while there haven't been any major changes, one noticeable difference, it is much brighter, as Aaron Boone said, here in Tropicana Field. Clubhouse a little bit different, suites a little bit different, but all in all, it is the same old Trop. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, Steven Matz gets the ball right here on Yes.
Only at Raymore Flanagan.
The Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your local tri-state Genesis retailers. Learn more at genesis.com. By Optimum Fiber, famously fast fiber internet. And by Hyundai, test drive a new Hyundai today, only at your local Hyundai dealer. Place looks great. A year at George M. Steinbrenner Field, they spruced up the Trop. New turf, new roof, new lights, and we are ready to roll. Steven Matz taking his warm-ups. We'll take a look at the Yankees starting lineup after they just lost a series to the Athletics. Goldschmidt leads off of play first base. Aaron Judge in right. Cody Bellinger in center field bats third. Middle third of the order, DH Giancarlo Stanton. Ahmed Rosario gets another start at third base. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth, second baseman Jazz Chisholm Jr. Bottom of the order, Randall Grichuk in left. Jose Caballero will play short, and Austin Wells will catch. He's behind the plate batting ninth.
Yeah, pretty good numbers for Steven Matz, 2-0. They've only won 5 games this year, so he's been a big part of it. But let's check out the Nissan Pitchers scouting report. Deja vu all over again, Michael. They're facing another veteran left-hander like Jeffrey Springs that has a really good changeup. Kind of going back in time. He was a full-time starter between 15 and 21, kind of a hybrid 22 and 24, mostly in the bullpen last year, and he's had to adjust. He used to get left-handed lanes. Now he's seeing so many right-handers because they can set up. He throws a lot more changeups than curveballs. It was the opposite last year.
Well, the Yankees have lost 4 games. Each of the games they've lost by 1 run. Goldschmidt's ready. Matz is ready. And let's do it here in the Trop. First pitch, foul back, and we're underway. And the left-hander deals outside. 34 years old from Stony Brook on the island. 12th big league season for Matz. 1-2.
You know, they call his fastball a sinker, and it's really not a sinker to me. It's a two-seamer. It has a little run to his arm side, and he'll use it up in the zone a lot.
2-2. Signed a 2-year, $15 million deal with the Rays in December. Moved from the Red Sox bullpen to the Rays rotation. And down goes Goldschmidt, 1 away. Let's check out the defense, brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers, Simpson, Mullins, and DeLuca in the outfield. We'll focus on Taylor Walls at shortstop. He's amazing. And it brings us to the CarShield defensive player profile. 42 defensive runs saved since 2022. That leads all major league shortstops. He's a wizard at short. Here's Aaron Judge. Pitch inside. Judge had just 1 hit and 9 at-bats in the A's series. Mark Rippinger is the home plate umpire. Shane Livensbarger at first. Dan Bellino at second. Steven Jasinski is at third. Two and one. That one is cracked to left field. It's a base hit in front of Chandler Simpson. Hard hit ball and a single for Judge. Let's find out what the home plate umpire is all about. The umpire scouting report brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Considered pitcher friendly. He's had 8 challenges while working home plate. 4 have been overturned. More low strikes, more high strikes on righty batters. This is Mark's 17th big league season. Here's Cody Bellinger. And a strike.
Yeah, 4 for 13 off of Steven Matz. Probably saw him a little bit with the Cubs. Maybe a little bit when he was with the Dodgers. Yeah, that's not good there, Michael. Hitting the ball off your back leg. There's no guard on the back leg. Take a look at this. Ow.
Sounds like you remember that.
No, you know what? I never hit balls off my leg or feet. I didn't pull enough. I was always late on everything.
The 0-2. Still 0-2. 13 games against Tampa Bay last year. Bellinger had 5 home runs and 13 runs batted in. Now, he was 2 for 12 against the A's, so his average down to 238, but his on-base percentage, because he keeps walking, is 365. Runner goes. Pitch is low. The throw goes into center field. Judge gets up, and he will head to third. Stolen base, E2. And Judge is at third.
Yeah, for Nick Fortes, that's the 14th stolen base he's given up this year. And his throw gets away from him a little bit. It really should be an E6. Taylor Walls has got to catch that ball. I like the Yankees are putting pressure on him and understanding that he's had some trouble throwing and their pitchers have had some trouble holding runners on.
Infield is in. High drive right field. DeLuca back. He's on the track. He's at the wall. He makes the catch. Tagging is Judge. He'll score easily. Sac fly from Bellinger. Yankees have a run.
Love that the Yankees pressed the envelope right in the first inning when they got someone on. Judge stole his second base of the year. Makes it easy for Belly to drive him in with the air. And now the Yankees have a 1-0 lead. Yeah, this is a two-seamer that he throws in. You can see it doesn't have much downward movement. Yeah, I think if they were at where the Rays played last year, it'd be 2-0, Mike.
1-1. So here in the first inning, Yankees have a hit. They had one hit all of last game. They have a run. They got shut out yesterday. So far, so good. And the pitch.
Michael, I know players aren't going to make excuses, but I look around baseball, offense is down everywhere, especially the teams that are in the north that are playing in the north outside. There's not a lot of runs being scored right now.
And the payoff. And Stan works a walk against Max.
Third baseman, number 14, Rosario.
Here's Ahmed Rosario. 3 for 10 against the Athletics. One and 0.
Matz's last start was against Minnesota. He went 6 innings and only gave up 2 hits, 1 run. He's already given up 1 run today.
Drops a curveball in for a strike. In his career, Rosario, 297 hitter, almost an 800 OPS against left-handed pitching. One and 2. There's a base hit, and it gets past Simpson and goes all the way to the wall, chugging around third. Is Stanton. He will score. Rosario will stop at third, and the Yankees lead 2-0. A ball really misplayed terribly by Simpson.
Yeah, I don't quite understand this, Michael, why he was charging it so hard. He has played better defense this year than he did last year in left field, but there's no way that Stanton's going to third on this ball. He's just going to check up at second, and he decides to try to make a sliding grab on it. It gets by. Ends up with a triple and an RBI. I think that's an E7. I mean, when you look at the Rays, they've had trouble with their defense all year long. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand this, Michael. First of all, why is he sliding? You don't need to slide. Just keep it in front. I like the aggressiveness, thinking that he might be able to catch it, but don't give the Yankees another run.
Popped up on the left side. Caminero will put it away, and that'll do it. But the Yankees get 2 runs. The Rays coming to bat.
Time.
Well, the man who made the misplay out in left field, he's going to lead off for the Rays. We'll give you the entire Rays starting lineup. Chandler Simpson, fastest man in baseball, leads off. Junior Caminero at third. Jonathan Aranda at first. Cleaning up the DH, Yandy Diaz. Cedric Mullins in center field, he's struggling. Johnny DeLuca in right. Ben Williamson at second base. Taylor Wall plays short. And Nick Fortes, the catcher, will bat ninth.
Luis Hill starts last year. The numbers aren't bad, but it didn't look the same, Michael. And let's take a look at the Nissan pitchers scouting report. Give me 5. The Yankees haven't needed a 5th starter so far this year, but they're in the midst of 13, and they do now. Not much history against this Rays team. They've only had 18 at-bats. And oh, Luis, are we going to see the velo that we saw in 2024 where he averaged 96.6 and be similar to the first half? I think we're going to.
And there's a strike to Simpson. Simpson has 18 hits, 17 of them singles, 8 infield hits, and he has 5 stolen bases.
And that's why you see the infield playing like double play depth. You see how close Rosario is at third. Shortstop and second baseman are a couple steps in. Goldie's in, because if you're an infielder, you go to your left or right, it might be a hit. And that's exactly what you want him to do. You want him to hit the ball in the air. 1 home run in his career, Michael?
Yep.
It was an inside the Parker.
35 infield hits last year. And he tips it into the glove of Wells, 1 away. Check out the Yankee defense, brought to you by your local Tri-State Genesis retailers. Grichuk, Bellinger, and Judge left to right in the outfield. Rosario, Caballero, Chisholm, and Goldschmidt third to first. Wells behind the plate. Stanton, the DH, Heel on the mound. Now, I'm not trying, Joe, to take an RBI away from Ahmed Rosario, but the official scorer here at the Trop gave Rosario a triple and an RBI on the ball that drove in Stanton. I mean, that's kind of embarrassing.
It's different if he slides and it hits off his glove and he almost catches it and it gets beyond him.
Yep.
But he was 10 feet away from the ball.
That's a single and a 2-base error.
Yes,
that's all it is.
Yes. Ahmed will take it, though.
Yeah, why not? The Rays have been terrible defensively in the early going.
Maybe not even close.
Coming into this game, 17 errors in 12 games. And they had not made their 17th error until the 39th game last year.
Yeah, and the best thing you can do as a player when you make a play like you want to get a hit. See if you can get something going, get one of the runs back, make it out, and you're like, man, you got to go think about it.
Line drive right at Chisholm. Caminero hit that one on the screws.
Well, he's a really good hitter, and he's got off to a slow start, but I don't expect it to stay that way. And if you're the Rays, you probably like that because he's a guy that drives the ball to all fields. He's been pulling the ball a ton this year, and that's not who he is. That's probably a good sign for the Rays.
Jonathan Aranda fouls it off. Good year last year. Could have been great, but he missed 49 games after running into Giancarlo Stanton at first base and broke his left wrist.
So did he run into Giancarlo, or did Giancarlo run into him?
I would think that the way Giancarlo runs, he probably could have avoided him. So I think he ran into Giancarlo. 1-2. The 1-2. Good velocity there, Joe. 97 miles an hour.
His 2 fastballs to Rana both have been 97. That's what he was against Baltimore when he was so dominant in that last game of spring training. 7 strikeouts, 1 walk.
Now, the game before the one against Baltimore, he really got roughed up. And it was known that the Yankees were going to start with just 4 starters. So he probably thought he still had a chance in the Baltimore game, and he really turned it on and put a good performance on the board.
Michael, I think there's something to the injury that he had last year with the lat strain where he missed the 4 months, that he was probably a little hesitant, thinking that it could happen again. And the shape of his fastball and his release point got out of whack. They've got it back. I was hoping that wasn't the fastball. I said, well, maybe they don't.
I was talking to a scout last year, and the thing that aggravated the scouts, he's trying to be an artist out there. He's a power pitcher. He's thinking too much out there. He's trying to be creative.
Well, I think that was the fear of the lat coming back.
Yep. All the way to the backstop, so a walk to Aranda. And that brings up Yandy Diaz.
You know, one of the things that I realized as a manager that I never thought of as a player was when a player went through an injury, whether it was an ACL or a lat strain, the hardest thing was to get him over it mentally, not physically, that it wasn't going to happen again. And I think he's finally past it, that he can pitch this way.
So he'll face Yandy Diaz, first time not batting leadoff this season. Last time he batted cleanup was 2024. And it really doesn't make much sense. They had Caminero batting cleanup and Chandler Simpson, a singles machine, backing him up in the lineup.
Well, I think that's why his walk rate went way up, Caminero. And that's not who he is. It went from like 6 to 15. Teams weren't going to pitch to him.
High fly ball, right field and deep. Judge back on the track at the wall. See ya. A 2-run home run and a tie game.
Michael, Yandy Diaz has one of the flatter swings to baseball, and it shades towards opposite field. So high pitches he's going to kill. I think you need to pitch him down, make him try to get on playing with it, and this is a hanging slider, middle away, and it's what he does.
Here's Cedric Mullins, and he goes around.
I mean, we know that's a home run last year for him, but it's clearly a home run here, and it's got plenty of distance. It's interesting with, like, Caminero's defensive boards that he's had. See Yandy point to the dugout. Will they re-sign him again or make Caminero a DH?
He's such an important part of what they do here.
Yes.
But he is 34 years old. I know he has been really sought after the last several years at the trade deadline, and they've held on to him.
Yeah, how can you not love him? He leads, he hits, he's productive, he leads off, he hits fourth, he doesn't care.
Right down the line and foul. Mullins signed a 1-year, $7 million deal with the Rays in December, and he's gotten off to a slow start. 5 for 41, 122. And it's a little bit of a concern because if you remember, the Mets acquired him at the deadline last year, and he just didn't do well. 42 games in Queens, he hit 182.
Really, really struggled. He got off to a great start last year in Baltimore. Had over a 900 OPS in the month of April, and you started saying, is he back? Is he back? And then he really started to struggle, and it dropped and dropped and dropped.
2-2. 3-2. The Yankee rotation has been, in a word, excellent. 2.14 ERA for their 4 starters, and that's the best in baseball.
You know, I said it yesterday about Weathers, you know, there's starts I worry about for a pitcher during the season. First start of the year, first start after the All-Star break, and if you're pitching against your old team. Luis Hill's stuff is there. He's made some mistakes and hung a couple breaking pitches, but his stuff is there.
And he walks Mullins, so 2 quick outs. A walk to Aranda, a home run to Diaz, now a walk to Mullins, and now a walk out of the dugout by pitching coach Matt Blake. He's got 28 pitches too, Joe.
Yeah.
Now he made a rehab start for Scranton against Rochester, and he got up to 90 pitches in that game.
Yeah, I mean, he's built up because he threw a lot of games in spring training. That's not the problem. It's just if this inning gets too long.
So Mullins at first, and here's Johnny DeLuca.
And this is where sometimes you worry about a pitcher too, because everyone else has pitched great for the most part, right? And you're coming in late, and you want to keep that going, and you put a lot of pressure on yourself. Competition is a good thing, I believe. Inner competition amongst the team. But when you haven't been part of it, then you're thrust into it. You don't want to let your teammates down.
2-2, bottom of the first. Fouled away. No, we told you the Yankee starting rotation through 12 games, 2.14 best in the majors. It's the 3rd best after 12 games in Yankee history, which is kind of amazing. 1958, they had a 1.79, and in 1949, they had a 2.05.
I wonder what their records were that year.
Mullins dives back.
Mullins had 22 stolen bases, 2 strikes on the hitter. Might be a chance that they go. They're 10th in offense. The Yankees are 11th when it comes to scoring runs this year. He's 2 for 2 this year.
Right field. Judge will put it away. 2 runs, 1 hit, the 2-run home run by Diaz. We'll go to the second.
Luis Gil trying to find his footing in his first outing of 2026. I spoke with Yankees pitching coach Matt Blake prior to the outing, and he told me that they really challenged Luis Gil this offseason to be more aggressive with that fastball, really challenged him to try to get that velocity closer to what we saw in 2024. The main goal, Joe, you mentioned, to try to get more lift, more ride on that fastball, some more late motion. They tweaked his delivery a little bit to better enable him to stay behind that fastball, and they think that is going to yield positive results. When you look at that fastball and it's right, everything else plays off of that. Blake told him today, go out there, be aggressive, the rest will work itself out.
Well, the interesting thing, after he gave up the home run, the velocity on the fastball went down. As Grichuk pops it up. And Walls puts it away. And what's interesting, Joe, he didn't give up the home run on a fastball.
No, he gave it up on a hanging slider, but maybe he thought he couldn't control his fastball, or maybe he got a lot of fatigue. But that's what you don't want to see, because that's the Luis Gil from last year, where he was trying to pitch. He's not going to paint. He's going to use an explosive fastball with a good changeup to get hitters out. He just hung a changeup or slider.
And that really was the problem last year. He tried to paint. Caballero.
But again, Michael, I think he put a governor on himself, in a sense, like they do on race cars.
Yep.
Where he didn't want to blow out that lad again.
One and two. Caballero spent 2 seasons with the Rays. He's off to a slow start. 5 for 37, 135. Swing and a miss. Caballero strikes out. Play FanDuel's Daily Dinger for free every day for a chance at a profit boost if your selected player hits a home run. And here are the featured home run odds for today's players. How about Paul Goldschmidt, plus 600. Cody Bellinger, plus 1,100.
He owned the Rays last year. I know it's a lefty in the mound. He almost hit one already.
Wells pops one up left field, and making the play is Caminero. And the Yankees go down in order against Max. We'll go to the bottom of the second inning. 2-2 on yes. Well, congratulations to our very own John Littner, who will be inducted into the Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame as part of the class of 2026 this fall. John's been the president and CEO of the YES Network since 2016 and has been a highly respected leader in the industry for more than 30 years. John's been instrumental in cementing YES's status as the premier regional sports network, ranking #1 in viewership while also earning 66 New York Emmy Awards under his watch. Congratulations, boss. That's quite an honor.
Yeah, what an honor. Congratulations, boss.
We go to the bottom of the second inning. Let's see if Heel has settled down. He'll face the bottom third of the order. Here's Ben Williamson to start it off. And there's a strike. Came to the Rays in a 5-player, 3-team trade in February. Williamson to the Rays. Brendan Donovan to the Mariners. And the Cardinals got 3 minor leaguers. Excellent defensive third baseman. But today he's playing at second.
And he's probably going to play mostly at second because Camanero's going to play at third. His outs above average have not been great at second. They were really good at third last year.
Well, Joe, he played 85 games and he had 8 defensive runs saved. 8. That was 1 spot behind Ryan McMahon's 10. Swing and a miss. Got him with the slider. 1 away. Second strikeout for Heel.
High sliders that start inside can be really tough for right-handers to hit because you give up on it. You think it's going to be a ball or run in off the plate. All of a sudden, that late break.
Here's Taylor Walls. And a strike.
He came back really quick from an oblique injury that he had late in spring training. He didn't sit out very long.
No, not at all. He was ready for the home opener. Now with Walls at the plate, I'm seeing that they took the error away from Fortes and gave it to Walls on that throw on the stolen base.
He whiffed.
Yeah.
I'd be mad if I was a catcher.
The other way. Long run for Grichuk. And he can't get there.
You see all those little pebbles come up when it hits the AstroTurf. It almost looks like it's sand. It's not sand. It's kind of weird to see.
Popped up way up there near the catwalks, but it makes the seats.
Michael, the old roof used to have 2 layers. This one has 1 layer. But the interesting thing about it is some of the roof is like a tannish and the other is white, but they say it's going to fade all to be the same white. I was kind of excited. Jazz didn't see that last pop. I was kind of excited thinking it might make it easier because it's like when you have all sunny day or you have the clouds, it makes it easier to catch. But they say it's all going to fade to the same color.
Yeah, that I was asking around too. I thought they did it on purpose, but the sun will bake it and it'll fade to the same.
Day games were really tough here to see. Night games were a lot easier once it got dark.
Rip foul. Yeah, the old roof was 2 layers of Teflon. Now they've gone with 1 layer of Teflon.
Well, it's a good thing it wasn't hit to you, Jazz. That's all. That's the thing you always have to worry about. People lose pop-ups here.
And guys, one thing that you notice here, if you're here during the day, it is much, much brighter in here at Tropicana Field. Talked about it being bad at day games. It's going to be even worse this year with that white roof.
So Walls gets hit, 10th pitch of the at-bat.
Yeah, he's really struggling with this slider. He's hung a couple and then he's pulled a couple like that, and he's trying to find it. It just hasn't been consistent yet. Hope he finds it here pretty quickly.
One thing I never quite understood with this place and the Metrodome, why you would make the roof essentially the color of the ball.
I think it's for lighting.
Because it is translucent.
Yeah, it's the only thing I can think of.
Because the hard roofs, the retractable roofs, they're not this color. This is the color of almost oatmeal, and when a baseball is rubbed up by an umpire, that's kind of the color of the baseball.
Some of the oatmeal's burnt, too.
Yep. But it's great they're back playing here. Last year they spent at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Great facilities. But St. Petersburg had to repair this place. I hear it's $57 million they spent on the repairs on this place. Runner goes, and it's a base hit through the vacated hole as Chisholm was covering. Moving to third is Wall, so first and third with one out for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Fortes is somewhat of a contact hitter, and he gets this big hole and he just shoots the ball through it. I don't think it was necessarily a hit and run. I think it was a run and you could hit if you want, because teams just don't put that on a lot. But he took advantage of a fastball out of the plate and just hit it to right field. See this high heater, he got on top of it. So that tells me that he swung at that. It probably was a hit and run. And now it's going to be hard to turn two here. You got to worry about him dropping a bunt down, taking it with him.
Rosario in at third. And Simpson tries to bunt and misses.
Here's the other thing, Michael. As fast as he is, I think the Yankees turned two double plays on him.
Yeah, they did. They did.
I mean, those had to have been rockets.
And when you consider he's been timed at 3.97 to first base, fastest in the game. So to double him up, it's got to be quick and the ball has to be hit hard. So Heel struggling in his first start of the year. First and third, one man out. There's one. They will not get two this time. So Wall scores. It's an RBI for Simpson, and it's a 3-2 Rays lead.
Yeah, that's about all you can do with his speed, and if you don't field it exactly cleanly, you're going to have no chance. And good feed, good throw to first. He's just too fast. And he gets out of the box so quickly, and he smells that RBI, Michael. Yeah, you see the frustration by Luis. Now you got to make sure you hold him on. I mean, he's a very good base runner. He steals bases, but he has been thrown out.
Upstairs, the Caminero hit a blistering line drive to Jazz Chisholm in the first inning. At the age of 21 last year, he hit 45 home runs. I said this on the open. Only the Milwaukee Braves' Eddie Matthews had ever hit more home runs. As a 21-year-old, he connected for 47.
You know what was so impressive for me, Michael? If you look at those 45 home runs, 20 of them were to the right of center field, 25 were to the left of center field.
Perfect.
You talk about using the whole field.
To get down the double play, to beat that double play ground ball, Simpson was 3.98 to first base. Popped up. Will anybody see it? Wells does, and puts it away for the final out. 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 man left on base. We played 2. It's 3-2 Tampa Bay. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/Yankees, the official source for your Yankees gear. Top of the order, Paul Goldschmidt takes the ball. Yankees trail by 1. Yankees have 4 left-handers on the bench, which they can unleash if Kevin Cash goes to a righty out of the pen. You've got Ascar, Grisham, McMahon, and Rice.
And that's where you want to get. If you're the New York Yankees, you want to get to their pen. I mean, they have had all kind of problems. 29th, only Houston is worse with a higher ERA. The Rays bullpen ERA 6.70. But when you think about it, Fairbanks is gone. Clevenger, their top left-hander, hurt.
Yep.
Uceta, top right-hander, you know, 8th inning, 7th inning out, hurt. I mean, this is a whole new bullpen.
I mean, if you look at the history of the Rays, a lot of their pitchers go down.
Yeah.
A lot of their they come in, they throw hard, they use them, and they end up going down.
They will get both of those guys back. Goldie puts up another good at bat. Clevenger, I think, pulled a calf muscle, and I think Uceta is on rehab right now.
Check out the Mohegan Sun team scouting report. What do you have, Joe?
Well, I think the Rays need to go back to the basics. They have 18 errors, what leads all of baseball. There probably should be 19. The Fantastic Four, the first guys, 4 guys in their lineup, are really, really good. When you look at Simpson, Caminero, Aranda, and Diaz, and their bullpen woes. 29th in baseball, 6.70. Only the Astros are worse. And you know what's weird to me? I went in and saw the Rays broadcasters, Mr. Stats. I said, you know what? Maybe I'm getting older and I don't remember, but weren't the Rays always really good at defense? They were usually really good with outs above average, and their pitching has always been really good. And that has not necessarily been the case so far this year. And he said the errors are kind of sometimes silly errors. They're not necessarily hard plays. And we've seen that tonight.
1-2. 2-2 on Judge. Judge with a hard single to left, stole second, and scored on a sac fly by Bellinger. He moved the third on the Wall's error on the throw from Fortes. The one thing that jumps out at you, Joe, about Aaron Judge so far, he's had 53 plate appearances, and he's walked only 5 times.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised at that myself.
I mean, that's about 9%, 9.5%.
It just tells you he's a little off, right? He's not where he needs to be, and you know that he's going to get there. Sometimes it takes a couple weeks. One year we saw it take about a month, and then he took off.
Last year, Joe, he walked 18.3% of the time. It's about half. Again, it's just 12 games, but that does jump out at you. Also, his ground ball rate is up.
Well, that April that he struggled a couple of years ago, his ground ball was up. Hitting a ton of double plays early in the season. Then he started getting a little air under him, Michael.
So that's called the ball, and they're going to challenge. T-Mobile ABS challenge. And Judge strikes out. So the challenge overturns the ball call.
So that pitch, those pitches in the corner usually aren't called by umpires if you look at the zone from last year. But they do get more down, middle, in middle, away middle, and not so much up. Now you're seeing the corners called because of the challenges. But you're not getting off the plate.
Judge didn't like that. And David Cohn has been saying since spring training, the pitch that pitchers will exploit is the high pitch, because unless it's a hanging breaking ball, batters don't want to swing at that high pitch.
No, they don't. And it's measured from them standing straight up.
Right.
And they're used to judging their strike zone in their crouch, however much you crouch. Like Cody Bellinger doesn't really have much flexion in his knees. Aaron Judge does.
Down goes Bellinger.
Yeah, this is a two-seamer that he's trying to go away, and he gets lucky. It ends up on the inside corner, and I've always said if you're going to miss by 17 inches. Don't miss by 3 or 4. End up in the middle of the plate.
Here's Stanton. Walked and scored in the first. Now, Giancarlo has 14 hits in the 11 games that he played coming into this one. That's the most he's ever had through his first 11 games. In fact, 14 is the most he's had through his first 12 games, too. So off to a very good start. Now it's time for DirecTV New Era. Against lefty batters, 256. Against righties, 263. It's not that stark of a difference.
No, those are pretty even splits. He has a better curveball, I think, than he gives himself credit, and doesn't use it a ton this year because he's seen so many right-handers. There's one.
High fly ball, right field and deep. DeLuca back. He's on the track. He makes the play with his back against the wall for the final out. No runs, no hits, no errors. One man left. We go to the bottom of the third. Well, it's time for Pinstripe Pride, brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicles of the Yankees. Tonight's picture is of Kayla, who was showing off her Pinstripe Pride in the bleachers yesterday at the stadium. Hey, Kayla. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride. Mention yes in pictures you post to social media to reflect your love for the Bronx Bombers. We might spotlight you in a future game. The watchful eye of George Steinbrenner watching Kayla.
Don't mess up.
Oh, upset the boss. Three, 4, and 5 in the Rays order, starting with Jonathan Aranda. 1-0. Foul back. So 3-1. 58 pitches and still nobody out in the third inning. Right to Chisholm on one hop. One down. That'll bring up Diaz. Had a home run in the first inning. We'll take the exit velocity and take a look at it. Presented by Spectrum. 103.3 off the bat on that opposite field home run, the second home run of the year.
Yeah, went to the fourth slot in the lineup, turned into a home run hitter. Was leading off before this. I wish it was that easy, Michael.
Got to make a manager feel good when you make a lineup change and it works out.
Sure. I mean, they haven't scored a ton of runs. They're 10th in baseball. The Yankees are 11th. But it's nice to have the hitter that has that type of versatility. He has that type of versatility because he can just hit. Doesn't matter where you put him. He doesn't need to change. I'm sure he's one of the guys, since he hits the ball to right field so well, was probably upset they came back to the Trop.
Now you might notice the Rays are wearing uniforms where it says Devil Rays. Well, Friday is a throwback day all the time for the Rays, so they use their old uniforms where it says Devil Rays and the old helmets and the logo. Chopped to third, Rosario. 2 down.
Yeah, I noticed it when they were, the PA was announcing their lineup, and he said for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, your neck snap. I'm surprised you don't have a stiff neck.
You know, you wean yourself off that by calling them the Rays, and all of a sudden, did I just spend the last 10 years wasted?
Are you on the Angels yet all the time? Can you say that correctly?
Well, LA Angels?
Yes.
I think that's kind of fugazi. I mean, I'll say it, you know, the Open, but after that, they're just the Angels.
Okay.
Be it like the Yankees played in Scarsdale, they still call them the New York Yankees. Because Anaheim is not LA.
No.
But I'm sure people in New York will say, well, the Giants and the Jets play in Jersey. I get it. I have no answer.
It's first time.
Served out in the left field off the bat of Mullins, and right there is Grichuk. So 1-2 inning for Heel. We go to the fourth. Time for the Optimum Fiber famously fast replay.
Yeah, Rosario thinks he's got a single. There's going to be first and second, but Chandler Simpson, not sure what he was thinking there, turns it into a triple and an RBI. Made him run real fast, man.
Real fast.
He was thinking home run, too. Simpson doesn't have much of an arm. And the thing about Chandler Simpson is he's +3, not anymore, but outs above average. And I don't even think that will change that, because that's not a play you can make.
And it would have gone down if it was scored an error. But, you know, no harm, no foul. He scored a triple for some reason.
Yes.
And you can't fall on the fact, well, he didn't touch the ball. That doesn't necessarily mean you can't get an error.
He just made a bad read.
Ground ball at third. They get Rosario for the first out.
Hit it hard again, though. That's a good sign. This is a guy that the Yankees really want to get going. And I don't think Jazz is that far off. He has been less aggressive this year. And the amount of strikes that he's getting in the zone are the same. And he's not swinging it as often as balls in the zone. I wonder if that's affecting him a little bit.
Challenging the pitch.
Well, he's going to challenge that strike call. T-Mobile ABS challenge. And he gets it wrong.
50 strike. New York has one challenge remaining.
So the Yankees have one challenge remaining. Yankees have not been that great on the homestand and starting off here with the challenge. They were great on the road trip. And he waves at that one. You've been sitting next to me, Joe, for these games. It seems like they've been hurt more with challenges than helped.
For sure. The Miami Marlins were unbelievable in their challenges.
Yep.
And I think sometimes, like, he took that swing that chased that breaking ball, chased that changeup. I think the frustration of not winning the challenge affects their bats sometimes.
I think you might be right.
And they got to learn not to let it affect your bat.
And I think it affects pitchers too. If
Absolutely.
they think they've got a strike three and all of a sudden it's overturned. Hey, it's a new thing. People are learning how to deal with it both mentally and with their eyes. Is this challengeable?
And I don't think we thought a lot about the emotional part of it
right
when it first came out and started, but we do now. Because in spring training, you're like, yeah, no big deal. But now it matters. I tell you what I would like to see, though, with this challenge rule. You know how a lot of times you could ask for a replay?
Right.
Later in the game, like in the 9th inning, if you're out of replay. I'd like to see him add one more challenge in the 9th inning for every team. That's it. One.
because they do add a challenge for every extra inning.
Correct.
Grichuk fouls it away. Let's check out one of tonight's player props brought to you by Bet365, where winning is everything. Randall Grichuk, 1 or more home runs. It's a plus 700. Not on that at bat. As Nats has retired 6 in a row and 9 of the last 10.
Michael, Joe, take a look at those familiar faces. Clark Schmidt, Anthony Volpe, both on the injured list right now. Clark Schmidt threw off the mound for the first time today since undergoing Tommy John surgery. When I spoke to him in the clubhouse, he was smiling ear to ear, telling me, it has been 9 months. I couldn't wait to get out there. Just threw about 8 to 10 pitches, if you include the warm-up pitches, and certainly didn't let it all go. But for him, a significant step in the rehab process. Still a long ways to go. He's targeting sometime in August for a return. As far as Anthony Volpe is concerned, he's expected to go on a rehab assignment next week. I asked General Manager Brian Cashman, who's in attendance, how long he thought he would need, and while he wouldn't give a specific time frame, he said typically spring training you like guys to get about 55 at-bats, and really he needs to work in the field to get his legs under him, so it will be a little bit of time until he is back. He was also asked if he is the starting shortstop when he comes back, and Brian Cashman said that's the manager's decision. Michael?
And that's the injury report brought to you by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Well, Caballero has certainly not grabbed the job by the throat. So when Volpe comes back, if Caballero's still struggling, I mean, there's no doubt. But I'll tell you what, Joe, I even think Caballero is doing great. As that one is fought and Rosario wins the fight for the out. Volpe's a shortstop, and they look at Caballero. He can play every day at different positions, even if he was doing great offensively. Volpe's a shortstop.
And I think it gives you more options versus lefties. And I agree with you, Michael. I think he's going to be the shortstop. Unless Caballero takes off here. I mean, that's the only way. But I like that they're not rushing his rehab, and they're going to let him get at bats because he struggled offensively last year. And I personally believe, and I know some people don't, it had to do with his shoulder. Because when your shoulder is messed up, it's hard to swing. And he hit well after a shot for about 2 weeks, and then he didn't. So I think he needs to work on some things offensively, come back and play.
You know, the story Meredith told about Clark Schmidt, too. I mean, it's so sobering. And you make the big leagues in any sport. I mean, you're at the top of the world. The top of the world. I mean, you're the best of the best. Clark Schmidt had to celebrate throwing 10 pitches today. That's how slow this rehab is.
But That's how exciting it is. I
Yeah.
mean, he celebrated throwing 10. Like, if you're during the regular season, you're not celebrating. You're like, really, 10 pitches?
Right.
But because it's been so long since he's been able to do what he loves, it's a big step. It gives you hope.
Yeah. And a walk to Williamson. And 5 of the pitches were just tosses off flat ground. Then he got onto the rubber and threw 5 pitches. And that's, you have to be so disciplined coming back from that surgery, because if you rush it, you could re-injure it.
Yeah, you got to be smart that you don't have any setbacks. That's the biggest thing.
So Williamson walks. Here's Taylor Walls, who was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning and came around to score.
I like those socks that Taylor Walls has on, Michael. That would look good with some of your suits. You can wear it with a lot of different ones.
Yeah, a lot of colors match. Ball gets by, couldn't find it, and Williamson scampers to second base.
What I've seen the last 2 innings, he's really having a hard time finding his release point. You can see that fastball's cold. And there's been fastballs that he's tried to go away to right-handers and left them in. He is just not comfortable with his release point tonight for whatever reason. And he's got to try to lock back in here.
Two on one. Ryan Yarbrough heating up. Now, to make room for Luis Gil on the 26th man, the Yankees designated for assignment Winquist, Cade Winquist. And it's somewhat complicated because he was a Rule 5 draft pick, which they took from the St. Louis Cardinal system. And if you're a Rule 5 draft pick, you must be kept on the team the entire year. And if you're not, if they try to send you down, then you have to go through waivers to see if another team will claim you, and you still have the rules of the Rule 5. And if it goes through and nobody claims him, then the Yankees have to offer him back to the Cardinals, and the Cardinals will pay the Yankees half the price that they paid to get him, where the Cardinals could say, we pass, you could have him. And the Yankees really like Winquist, Joe.
Yes.
And they see something there, and they would like to have him in the minors.
I think they loved his breaking ball, and he had some pretty good velocity. And it'll be interesting to see if someone else is, you know, willing to take the risk. But I know that was a hard one for Aaron Boone because he wanted to get him into a game. He was not able to do it.
If it stays fair, it's trouble. It's trouble. Walls with an infield single. Joe, Winquist is the only player that was on the opening day 26-man roster of a team that did not get into a game.
Yeah, and I think some of the pitching decisions had to do with the Yankees' schedule in the beginning. I mean, they had 4 days off in the beginning of the year.
And Boone explained that today. He said we have all these days off, which gave us time to actually reset and get people rest. And they're all one-run games that we've lost. We didn't blow anybody out. Let's take a look at the bullpen budget brought to you by Citizens. Make sense of your money with Citizens. So Blackburn pitched yesterday, 19 pitches. What a great performance yesterday by Weathers, because he allowed the Yankees to reset their bullpen. So I would say everybody is ready. The Yankees try to stay away from 3 out of 4 days. So maybe Hedrick and Bednar, they would rather not use tonight.
And the Yankees are fortunate that they have 2 guys that are built up. When you look at Blackburn and Yarbrough. And they can basically use them as long relievers whenever they want. And if you use one, you don't have to like worry that you're not going to have a long reliever for 3 days. They just go to the other one.
So here's Nick Fortes. And he bunts right back to Heel. Heel bobbles, goes home, got him. He bobbled, stayed with it, got the ball to Wells, and they get Williamson trying to score from third.
Yeah, the safety squeeze is on here, and it's first and third. The first baseman has to hold the runner on. And the problem is he bunted it right back to the pitcher. It's the only place you can't bunt. And you can't say he's blocking the play without the ball because he has the ball. So unfortunate for the Rays that he bunted it right back. Luis makes a really good play, knows he has time, makes a good toss to Wells, and they get the force out. If you bunt it towards first base, it's a run.
So Wall's at second, Cortez is at first. And here's Simpson.
The year that Simpson is having so far allowed the Rays to shake up their lineup and put him in the 1 slot. His on base coming into this game is 429. See, Michael, that's he's just not right. I mean, with his release point tonight. And we saw that he was the last start of spring training. He was really, really good.
And you don't want to lose Simpson here and have to face Caminero with the bases loaded.
No, sir.
And that's what he's trending toward, 2-1. Ground ball. They go to first, and they get Simpson for the final out. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men left. We go to the 5th. Two nights, one wild show. Banana Ball is coming to New York City. Yankee Stadium will host the Savannah Bananas on Saturday, April 25th, Sunday, April 26th. Limited ticket inventory and premium seat locations on sale now. Visit Yankees.com/bananas to secure your seats today. Caballero will take a strike. And that's going to be challenged. So, T-Mobile ABS challenge, and he's wrong. So the Yankees are out of challenges. A challenge by Jazz, incorrect. A challenge by Caballero, incorrect. Fly ball, center field. Mullins makes the play. See Susan Waldman with the Savannah Banana colors.
Maybe she should have read the promo.
For sure.
Michael, what happens if they get rained out? Do they have a split doubleheader the next day?
Yeah, it's a great question. But I think the Bananas could play in rain.
Man, I'm sure they
The
want the
catcher's
gate.
challenging the pitch.
So that was called the ball, and that's going to be challenged by Nick Fortes. He thinks it's a strike. ABS challenge by T-Mobile.
The pitch is the ball. Tampa Bay has 1 challenge
So
remaining.
Tampa Bay now has 1 challenge remaining. The Yankees have no challenges remaining. Matz has retired 11 of the last 12.
That's an outstanding pitch. Left-handed changeup to a left-handed hitter. They don't see it very often. Gets him out front. Looking fastball. Then comes back and tunnels the thing.
Hey guys, I don't believe the Savannah Bananas have doubleheaders. What they do have is a rain rave party. If it's raining, they aim to play through all weather as long as it is safe for fans.
Wow. Left center field. Mullins runs it down to retire Wells. Wells now 5 for 32 to start the season.
Okay, though, Meredith, I'm sure the Yankees don't want them playing in the rain on the field.
Tear up the field.
Yes.
Well, then you got a little bit of a conundrum, don't you?
You sure do. I think split doubleheader.
Well, now I can't talk to Danny Cunningham and see what he has to say about all of it, but I'm sure there's somebody there that makes that final decision if they're going to tear the field up. But they try to play as often as they could. If they cancel it, oftentimes they just offer fans tickets to an upcoming Savannah Bananas game.
0-2 quickly on Goldschmidt, who struck out and walked. It's a little odd not seeing Goldschmidt in the lineup yesterday against Jeffrey Springs, the left-hander, because last year he started all 36 games that was started by an opposing left-hander. But Ben Rice is the everyday first baseman. And today they do give him a day off. Rice the only one who got a hit yesterday for the Yanks. And even he admitted it was a seeing eye ground ball through the right side.
They work, Michael. And I think what was so strange is he was second in OPS for his left-handers last year. Judge was first. I think Bellinger was like fourth.
And that, according to Goldschmidt, hit him. And the home plate umpire, Ripperger, agrees.
Been on twice tonight, a walk, hit by pitch. Tell you what, he's a tough out against left-handers. He just stays in there, fouls pitches off.
And a trip to the mound.
Kyle Snyder, their pitching coach. 9 years he's been here.
Having a say with Matz. Matz wanted to return to the rotation. He pitched out of the bullpen last year with the Red Sox, and as a free agent, he was looking for a team that would give him a chance to be a starter again, and the Rays said, we believe that you can do that. Came into the game with a 2-0 record, 4.09, and has held the Yankees to 2 runs over 4 2/3. Leads 3-2. Judge at the plate now, runner at first. 0-1.
Really good slider in here that ties him up. It looks like it's a heater right down the middle, and has that late break. It looks like he's going change up here, maybe.
Now, we told you the Yankees would not feel terrible if the Rays go to the bullpen. The Rays bullpen has been dreadful. Pop foul and out of play. This is the Yankees' first game at the Trop since July 11th of 2024. And Judge swings and misses, and that'll do it. He strikes out for the second time tonight. We're halfway through. The Rays 3 and the Yankees 2. It's time to name that Yankee. Brought to you by Prevagen, made for your brain. This is a tough one. 261 is the batting average, 469 hits, 82 home runs. So he finished his career in 2003 with the Yankees. Played 3 years with the Rays, also stopped the Mets, the Tigers, and the Padres. Jake Bird takes over as Louis Hill gives the Yankees 4 in his first start of the year.
Yeah, he's got this really good sweeper, and for the most part, he's pitched really well this year. He had the one outing that he got in trouble and gave up some walks and hits, but he's been pretty good this year.
Strike 3, Caminero down looking. That was an impressive sequence.
Yeah, sweeper, sweeper, sweeper.
Against a really good hitter.
First baseman, Jonathan Aranda.
I mean, that ball just took a left turn, Joe.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And it's perfect pitch. Sometimes as a hitter, you just got to say he beat me.
There's Jonathan Aranda. Now, Joe, this is a special day in Yankee history.
Okay.
So you go back to 1913. Remember, the Yankee organization started in 1903. So 1913 on this date was the first day that the Yankees were officially the Yankees. For the first 10 years, they played fast and loose with names. They were called the Americans, the Hilltoppers, the Highlanders, but they settled in 1913. They are officially the New York Yankees, and they've been that ever since.
On this day?
On this day in 1913. As Aranda down on strike. And one thing I didn't get to yesterday in the game, Joe. Yesterday was the anniversary of a game that you were a big part of. In 1996, it was a snow game.
Yes.
And it was a home opener.
Home opener.
And you and Tino Martinez were introduced and booed loudly.
Oh, yeah. That had to have been 96.
Because you weren't Mike Stanley, you weren't Don Mattingly.
No. Started off a little rough, Michael.
Yes, it did.
And I knew it was going to be rough when I got booed at the Fan Fest when they announced my name.
Ooh.
And then the welcome home dinner.
You got booed at the welcome home
Oh,
dinner.
yeah.
Just because you weren't Mike Stanley.
Just because.
You didn't trade yourself.
No. Doc couldn't help me out with that no-hitter, though. Everything seemed to turn around.
0-2.
But I like that you have to earn the respect of the Yankee fans and the loyalty of the Yankee fans. It's a good thing.
I remember Tino turned it around with that grand slam he had in Baltimore at the end of April.
Yeah. Well, there weren't a lot of expectations when I came. I didn't have to deal with that like Tino did.
You know what else you found out, too? In the last 9 years, you've become a great manager.
Oh, I am such a better manager than I used to be.
Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we'll get to it, but that reminds me of a story that Aaron Boone once told. Ooh, a lot of guys were running off the field. He was at a bat dinner.
Right.
And they asked Aaron, what'd you learn from your dad, you know, over all those years? And he said, well, I learned that he was a much better hitter than he actually was. He remembered himself being better.
3-2. Chop toward third. Charging is Rosario. Bare hand fires, not in time. Diaz picks up an infield single.
Yeah, after going hitless in the last two games, he's got a homer and an infield single. And you got to be frustrated at that type of hit because you thought you had him a strike three with a sweeper inside. You don't get the call. And he just beats the sinker into the ground, hits it off the dirt. And at that point, you should just eat it. Don't take a chance of throwing it away.
So here's Mullins. Now, I just found out, Joe, that the welcome home dinner where you got booed, Adam Ottavino attended as a fan, got a voucher for a free ticket, and used that voucher to see Doc Gooden's no-hitter.
No, he did.
Yeah. Ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit for Mullins. Diaz will stop at second. Judge gets the ball in, so back-to-back singles with 2 outs, first and second.
It is amazing how you tie everything together. Yeah, this ball's not hit hard, another sinker. And, you know, when you have guys that get ground balls, some of them are just going to find holes, and it can be extremely frustrating for the pitcher and everyone involved, because you do your job. You're trying to get weak contact in a ground ball. Sometimes they just find the right spot.
Here's Johnny DeLuca. 1-0. And a strike. 1-1 on DeLuca. Two and two. Grounded to third. Rosario steps on the bag, beats Diaz there, and that'll do it. 5 in the books here at the Trop. Rays lead 3-2. Thank you, Bob. Mason Miller, 27 2/3 inning scoreless streak since last August. Parker Meadows, terrible collision in the outfield. I think he broke his jaw, has a concussion. And Ichiro Suzuki, his statue's bat broke during the unveiling today. Unbelievable scene. Beautiful statue outside T-Mobile Park. That one is ripped off of Griffin Jacks. 1 away. as Bellinger is retired. And Joe,
I'm laughing because Ichiro was so particular about his bats. He had this nice case. I mean, it was beautiful.
but he had a great line right away. He said, "Who knew that Mariano Rivera was going to be here?"
I remember him taking Mariano deep to beat us one game too out there. Didn't get in enough. I mean, that's one thing. Everyone thought that you were going to be able to knock the bat out of his hands when he first came up. That was not the case. And when I tell you, he had a lot of power. He just didn't choose to hit that way. He had a lot of power.
You know, the great story is that he's in spring training. Lou Piniella had never seen him. And, you know, he's just tapping the ball to shortstop. And Lou came to him and said, "Son, when are you going to start hitting the ball?" And he said, "This is the way I hit."
3,000 hits
Yeah.
later. I mean, he was a game changer in so many different places. At the plate, on the bases, in the outfield, with his arm, his range.
So Griffin Jack's 31 years old. He's given up runs in 3 of his 5 games, including a 5-run outing against the Brewers last week. And Stanton waves through that pitch, 2 away here in the 6th.
You know, it's somewhat mind-boggling because he's got outstanding spin on his breaking balls, and we also saw him throw a changeup in there, and he'll throw as hard as, I don't know, 98. The fact that he gets hit, it's amazing to me.
Traded at last year's trade deadline from the Twins for Taj Bradley. And Joe, I'm sure you've seen Taj Bradley is pitching unbelievably well for Minnesota. Has gotten off to a surprisingly good start.
I always liked his stuff. He came up really, really young and pitched pretty well, and then he ran into some issues, but he's got good stuff. And this is really good stuff, too. I think they anticipated that he was going to be the closer of the future. Hasn't worked out that way.
And he is under team control in arbitration for next year and for 2027. That's what the Rays look for, because when they have to pay somebody, they'll decide to trade him, and they make pretty good trades. And that got a big piece of the catcher.
You don't miss that. Do not miss that. 97 miles an hour. Little foul tip off the top of the knee. It feels like someone shoots you. I've never been shot, so I don't really know. But then it goes away pretty quickly when you get hit like that.
Do you get a bruise even though it hit the
no,
shin guard?
Because there's really nothing to bruise on your knee. I mean, there's not a whole lot there. It's bone and skin.
2-2. Did he go? Did he go? No. The whole Rays team was headed to the first base dugout. They thought he went.
Not so fast. Doesn't look like he went there. Look at a little side angle. I don't think so. What do you think?
I don't think so. It's right on the border. He went there. And Rosario down on strikes. Yankees go down in order, and we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. A broken bat for Ichiro. Yankees hockey jersey net is back for 2026. Come out to Yankee Stadium on Friday, April 17th when the Yankees take on the Royals. First 18,000 guests in attendance receive a Yankees hockey jersey, courtesy of StubHub. Tickets are going fast, so get yours today at Yankees.com. Brent Hedrick takes over and deals a strike to Ben Williamson.
Michael, do you remember what I told you?
What'd you tell me?
Don't forget to get me a jersey.
Oh, no, I got it.
This is Brent's league-leading 9th appearance this year. He's tied with a number of guys who had 8.
You know, one thing they had to figure out with Hedrick, how can they use him and not see a diminishing fastball and a lessening of stuff? And that was like a work in progress last year. Seems like they figured it out.
Yeah, they have. He's been really sharp, and there's a good changeup splitter. I remember having to do that with Dellin Betances. And what I did with Dellin is I followed what he was doing in the minor leagues, where he was throwing like 2 or 3 innings. He was getting 2 or 3 days off to get him used to being in the pen. And then he got to be so good, I'm like, God, can I just throw him an inning? And then, goodness, do I dare throw him a second day in a row? I was nervous to put him in but eventually we did it, and he became an 8th inning guy and a closer and was just unbelievable. But that first year that we had him up there, he just kept working his way back further and further into the pecking order in the innings, and I had to stop going 2 and 3 innings.
What a weapon that was for you.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, he was an all-star. He was terrific.
I mean, people a lot of times talk about the year that Mo had. I believe it was like in 1996, setting up for Wetland.
Right.
Look at Dellin's first year.
The other way, slices foul.
It's comparable. The Rays' lone left-hander right there.
Line drive left field. On the run is Grichuk. He's not going to get there. Not the plate off the wall. Williamson round second. He'll stop right there, so it's a leadoff double for Ben Williamson.
Just a good at bat by Williamson. He kept fouling some pitches off, taking some nasty pitches, and he gets this split that kind of cuts a little bit and ends up in the middle of the plate. He's out in front of it, and that's why he pulls it down the line, but it works out really well for him.
Number 6, Taylor Walls.
And I apologize, Michael. They called up a lefty today, Mr. Rock.
Yeah, Joe Rock. Now, if they were going to have a baseball game, who's going to date us in the Flintstones, the pitcher would be Joe Rock.
Joe Bedrock.
Mr. Slate, all of that. And a strike to Walls. Yankees playing in, expecting a bunt. Walls not a great hitter, although he's been on base twice, hit by a pitch, scored, then an infield single, so he's 2 for 11. And he gets the bunt down. Bobbled again, everybody's safe. So that'll be a sacrifice, moving Williamson to third. It should be an E1, allowing Walls to reach.
I know a lot of times we don't like to give up outs in the game of baseball. Sometimes there are pitchers, and I'm not saying that Brent is one of them, that just struggle when they have to handle the baseball.
Number 40, Nick Forte.
Well, they do stuff with Fortes. They had a hit and run in the second inning, moving a runner to third. They tried to squeeze, and the out was made at home. So let's see what they do here. First and third, nobody out.
you got to worry about Walls running. I would think they would let him hit, Michael, because any double play up the middle, you're going to score a run. If there was one out, you might see a safety squeeze. But I don't think in this situation, and he's been swinging the bat really good for him this year.
And the scoring on that bunt is a sacrifice and an E1.
Might be thrown over for two reasons. Number one, to keep the runner close, but number two, to see if you can see Fortes possibly square around.
Now the Yankees are in, not all the way in, but more than halfway at shortstop and second.
They were back before, and now that he's 2 strikes, they've come in a little bit.
Strike 3, that's a big strikeout for Hendrick. And he's going to challenge Nick Fortes. They have 1 challenge remaining. T-Mobile ABS challenge. And he was wrong. So both teams are done with their challenges. Big strikeout for Hendrick.
Yeah, this is just an outstanding 4-seamer that has ride to it and stays up. Fortes thinks it's going to go below the zone, but we always talk about the ride up in the zone. Sometimes it's the ride down in the zone that fools hitters, but now you have to play the infield in because your guess is there's no way you're turning 2 on Chandler Simpson. You got to worry about the bunt too, because Goldie has to hold the runner on first. You got a left-hander, the guy in third can get a big lead.
And that's lined into center field. It's a base hit in front of Bellinger. Williamson coming home. The throw not in time. 4-2 Tampa Bay. The reason it was close at home, Williamson was tagging to see if Bellinger made the play. So although it was a single, Bellinger still thought he had a shot.
It's really a tough guy to have up in that situation because you can't turn 2. You're going to see Belly. Williamson thinks he's got a shot. He comes to 1 hop, and he almost throws him out at home. He doesn't strike out, and he can bunt. So it's really a tough situation to be in. What you're hoping is you can get a fastball up that he pops it up.
Well, that's going to do it for Hendrick. Boone signals for the right-hander with Caminero due up. 1 run in, first and second. 1 man out. Like Prevagen made for your brain. Here are the clues, Joe. I don't know who this is.
Yeah, I was guessing Kareem Garcia. Bubba Trammell.
Bubba Trammell. Wow. An original Tampa Bay Devil Ray. That's good old Bubba.
Oh, for Kurt Schilling.
That's a brand name.
strong young fellow. Can run a little bit.
Good numbers. Yeah, batting average-wise. Yankees got him for Rondell White. With the Yankees 11 for 55. I really would like to talk to the Yankee fan that got this one right. I think this was harder than an 8. So here is Camilo Doval. Caminero with a fly ball to shallow right, and it dunks in front of Judge. He throws to second. They don't get the force. He took a step back, and that cost him that one as he came running in and couldn't get to it. So a single for Caminero.
When a guy hits 45 home runs the year before and he hits the ball in the air, it's kind of like when Aaron Judge hits. He gets the ball in the air, everyone cheers. And you assume that it's hit a lot deeper than that. He takes one step back, and that one step cost him.
Here's Jonathan Aranda. Bases loaded. Yankees trailing 4-2. Grounded foul. Yankees playing back. Looking for the double play. The 0-1. Grounded to second. They only have one out. They make it at first. Scoring is Taylor Walls. Runners move up to second and third, and now the Yankees are down by 3.
Again, Michael, you do everything right. You get the ground ball, but it's just not hit hard enough. And that's the frustrating thing about this game sometimes is you can do everything right. You make a good pitch, you get a ground ball, and you don't get the double play you're looking for.
So here's the dangerous Diaz, second and third now. Yankees down 5-2.
Aranda and Diaz are now tied for the team lead with 12 RBIs.
And the pitch. Good slider. 2-1. Three and one.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of making him try to chase something. He understands he has an open base. Can't give in here.
Grounded. Josh Chisholm steadies, fires, got him. But 2 runs for the Rays in the 6th. They lead by 3. from Mel Allen to say, how about that? He's one of 9 Bahamian-born players in Major League history, first to be named an MLB All-Star. He learned baseball from his grandmother, Patricia Coakley, a former shortstop for the Bahamian national softball team. He has never had soda in his life after his mother told him as a child it would cause acne.
I guess that's one way of doing it.
You know what? It might not be the truth, but it's good advice.
Yeah, really good advice.
Aaron Judge upset with himself, says, my bad to Doval with the ball that fell in front of him. Ian Seymour, new pitcher for the Rays. Checks his swing, but the home plate umpire said he went around, and Jazz is pointing to the third base umpire. He said, well, why don't you ask him? Seymour allowed 5 runs on opening day at St. Louis without retiring a batter. There's a ground ball by Chisholm. 1 away.
You see the energy that Seymour has in the mound. You might think he's had a little bit of soda. Starter in the minor leagues. Fills a lot of different roles for them. Long relief. Before Rock came up, he was their only left-hander that they had.
27 years old, second big league season. And a strike to Randall Grichuk.
And it appears that Kevin Cash doesn't want to see those left-handers come off the bench for the Yankees. So he brings in the left-hander.
And probably one of the reasons they brought up Rock.
Yes, correct. Because you're not going to pinch hit so much for the 2, 3, 4, and 5, or 2, 3, and 4. So use him at the bottom of the order. I always wondered how certain guys come up with certain windups, certain stretches, certain batting stances. You know, I think of Mike Messina when he was in the stretch and the bend over. Look at this.
A lot of movement.
It's like he was watching pitchers, you know, like in the 1920s. And that's not even all of it. The stuff that he does before he gets to that spot where he kind of goes over his head and comes the rock, and it's got to feel like the ball jumps on you because he's coming so fast at you. Because he's only throwing 91, and you can see the fastball's getting in on these right-handed hitters.
Center field, Mullins back. 2 outs. Grichuk still looking for his first Yankee hit.
You know, he went 13 days between his bats. Second game of the season and yesterday, and he just hasn't found his stroke.
And he's 0 for 8. Here's Jose Caballero, 0 for 2 tonight, 5 for 39 in the early going. And a strike. Oh, and 2. Works quickly, even with all those gyrations. The one over the head, I don't quite get what that's about. It's almost like he's stretching as he's getting the sign.
It's just a timing mechanism for him. Just feels comfortable. I mean, I think players always want to feel like they're loose and they're fluid, and for whatever reason that works for him.
2 and 2. We told you the Rays bullpen has been a problem at the beginning of the season for them, but so far they've used 2 pitchers and they've been effective. That one up there near the catwalk, and and it falls into the seats.
So much for seeing better with this new roof.
Caminero had no clue.
No clue.
And it was 10 rows back, and he thought he had a chance.
I know one thing. I'm putting my hands over my head so I don't get hit in the head. Why can't you do something where players don't lose the ball on the roof? You know, you were talking about change the color of it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Swing and a miss. Seymour retires the Yankees in order. Time for the stretch here in St. Pete. Thank you, Bob and Jack. 5-8-1 for Tampa Bay, 2-2-1 for the Yankees. Heel won 4 in his first start of the year. Rosario an RBI triple with a question mark for a triple. Steven Matz won 5, 2 hits, 2 runs. And Yandy Diaz, 2-run home run. That was in the first inning to tie the game at 2, his 3rd home run of the year. Ryan Yarbrough will take over. He's the 4th Yankee reliever to pitch. Got the final 5 outs on Sunday. Driven to right field, foul. One and one. Mullins today has walked and singled. He's 1 for 2.
Yeah, he's had a really tough start, hitting only 122 coming into this game. He does have a home run, though.
On the sleeve of every Rays uniform, even the alternate ones like tonight, sewn into the sleeve is a piece of the old roof.
Really?
Yep. Right field, coming on is Judge, going out Chisholm. Judge makes the play.
Michael, did you ever see what the inside looked like after the hurricane? Were there a lot of pictures to showing the damage in here?
There was obviously there was so much standing water because there's no drain. There's no drains anywhere in the ballpark because they don't get rain. So that messed it up, and there was so much mold because it sat out here. They really had a lot of work to do. The final cost, that one's bunted right back to Yarbrough to retire DeLuca. The final cost was $59.7 million. And here's some of the stuff they've done. New carpet and lockers in the clubhouse, new roof, new artificial turf, upgraded video board and luxury suites, new sky deck section in left field. And the Rays are under lease here until 2028. And they had a positive development in their attempt to get a ballpark built right near George M. Steinbrenner Field. That was today, but there's still many more steps to go. And if they do close on that, they hope to be ready after 2028.
They've been trying for a long time here.
I was talking to Andy Freed, who's been the radio broadcaster. He's one of the best in the game. He's been here for so long. He said, but there's been so many starts and stops and so much disappointment. We had an agreement here. We had an agreement in Ybor City. And everything kept falling apart back here again in another spot. And it just keeps falling apart. This time it looks like it has some traction. But, you know, you just hold your breath that it happens. And if they do build it by George M. Steinbrenner Field, it's right across the street from Raymond James Stadium, where the Buccaneers play. It would be kind of a sports complex.
So what happens to George M. Steinbrenner Field?
No, it still stays there. It would be, there's a college by George M. Steinbrenner Field, so they would kind of relocate some of that. And that would be part of the money that would be spent as well.
And I would think you would try to time it that the A-ball team would play at home when the Rays were on the road and vice versa.
You would think so, yeah. And one of the keys for them, you know, Hal Steinbrenner, the main general partner of the Yankees, he's come out and said he supports it. You know, for the city of Tampa, the Steinbrenners has always been, you know, such proponents of good things happening in Tampa. So he said, yeah, I'm all for it.
Oh, they took care of the Rays when it came to letting them use George M. Steinbrenner Field.
So 2 away, 3-2 count on Ben Williamson. And he walked him. Third time on for Ben. A double, 2 walks, also struck out. Bottom of the 7th inning, Rays lead by 3.
Here comes the shortstop, number 6, Taylor Walls.
You look at the bottom of their order, they've really hurt the Yankees tonight on 7 times.
Yeah.
In 10 at-bats.
Runner goes, pitch is high, and the throw is high. Backed up nicely by Caballero. So Williamson with a stolen base.
Looked like he didn't get a very good grip on that one, and he went on first movement, and it's really hard for a catcher to throw it. And he didn't get under it. He just looked like he had a bad grip on it. You're going to see him stay on top of it, and it just slipped out of his hand and took off. And he knew it as soon as he threw it.
Well, came into the game, Wells did, having thrown out just 1 of 9 base runners. And there's a strike.
He did throw out what I would consider league average last year, about 25%.
Yep.
Slightly over.
Popped up on the run. Goldschmidt in foul territory, heads toward the dugout, makes the play, and that will do it for Yarborough in the 7th. Keeps the Rays off the board. We go to the 8th. It's time for pitching decisions presented by Sage.
Well, 10 strikeouts by Yankees hitters. You can see Steven Matz get one of them. He ended up having 7 for the night. Griffin Jacks had a couple. And then Ian Seymour with his breaking ball gets 1 as well. So they've had 10 tonight.
Last 3 games, just 4 runs and 7 hits for the Yankees. Their offense has been stalled. We start the 8th inning with Austin Wells. Austin's 0 for 2 tonight. Jumps on the first pitch and sends it up toward the roof. Williamson on the outfield grass, backs up and makes the play. Tomorrow night on Yes, the Yankees and the Rays play Game 2 here in St. Pete. Coverage begins with the FanDuel Yankees pregame at 5:30. Then first pitch will be shortly after 6 on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. Hunter Biggie is the new pitcher for the Rays, and he gets a visit from Kyle Snyder as they send up Ben Rice to pinch hit for Goldschmidt. Max Fried will get the start tomorrow. And Nick Martinez from Fordham will get the start for Tampa Bay. First time Max Fried will pitch here at the Trop. So Ben Rice pinch hitting for Paul Goldschmidt.
Michael, what do you think the conversations are like in the bullpen for the Rays? Bibby went to Harvard. Salso went to Dartmouth. They get pretty complicated down there.
Well, we have Harvard now against Dartmouth at the plate.
Yeah. It's really interesting watching him pitch. He really tunnels on one side of the plate. He will throw his four-seamer away and up to lefties and into righties, and then he'll throw his cutter on that same side, and it works pretty well for him. 96, 97 miles an hour. Not real complicated. Lives on one side of the plate for the most part.
Called up last weekend when Garrett Clevenger went on the IL with right calf tightness. 3rd big league season, 27 years old. Driven deep to center field. Mullins back on the track at the wall. He leaps. And it's a home run. He just missed making the catch. A pinch hit home run for Ben Rice. And it's 5-3.
Well, Michael, he reached into his glove and acted like he was going to throw it, so I thought he had it. But Ben Rice, instant offense. This is not an easy ballpark to go to dead center field.
Advantage Dartmouth over Harvard. Judge takes low. It's impressive coming off the bench and connecting.
Sitting there for 7 innings, you go into the cage, you get loose, you anticipate, and then you have to make a decision. And Aaron Boone put him in there, and he rewarded him.
First career pinch hit home run for Ben Rice.
Kind of shook him up a little bit, Michael. He hasn't been close on any of these pitches to Aaron Judge. He was aggressive before that.
The 3-0. 3-1. So does Rice wake up the Yankee offense? 3-1 count on Judge. Ground ball short. Walls. 2 down.
Yeah, back to the home run. You're going to look at this fastball out over the plate, up. Ben Rice gets on top of this. Hits it in the center field seats. Thought Cedric Mullins had it. He got me the way he went up, but I didn't see the right fielder raise his arm, and then he comes up, acts like he's got it in his glove. Pretty close. It's 404 out there. Boy, he can get up, Michael.
That's a high wall.
Yeah. Measured distance was 411 feet. Simple. Short stride, quick to the ball, extends through it.
Oh, 0-2 on Bellinger. Had the only hit in yesterday's game. Ground ball single through the right side. Comes off the bench now. Hits a pinch hit home run.
Cedric Mullins goes up. Boy, he was really close.
As Bellinger swings and misses, and that'll do it. But the Yankees get a run closer. Ben Rice comes off the bench, pinch hitting. Paul Goldschmidt sends one deep to center field, just over the leaping try of Mullins. And when it lands, it's 5-3, Tampa Bay. Bottom of the 8th inning, Hyundai scoreboard. Tampa Bay 5, the Yankees 3. Rice stays in at first base. Yarbrough in his second inning of work will pitch the bottom of the 8th. Fortes lines the first pitch into center field for a base hit. His second hit of the night.
Yeah, you see Jake Fraley and Richie Palacios probably telling Mullins, okay, now this is what I would have done, and I would have caught it. See, I would have went up, brought it right back. Both those guys play some right field.
You know, Mullins was a little taller. He might have made that catch.
Yes.
He got up there, but just so much he could do. Here's Chandler Simpson. Rosario in at third. And there's a strike.
Jazz has got to make sure that he can get over from second base because Simpson is so fast. You see him cheating on the infield. He's in a lot. Third baseman's in. Ben Rice has to break hard towards home. Tell you what an advantage as a hitter. And he really understands who he is. He's got elite speed, and he hits the ball on the ground 65% of the time. It's almost like, to me, a throwback to like a Vince Coleman or a Willie McGee, those type of guys that understood how to use their speed.
2-1. There just aren't that many players like him in today's game.
No, very, very few. And players are so strong today. Like,
there's one on to first, not in time. And that was a well-struck ball. That's how fast he is. I think you turn a double play most batters on that.
Probably all batters, Michael. I mean, there's nothing more that you can do. I mean, maybe if you're Caballero, you can come one step in and try to get it. But the speed is elite, and he hits this ball hard, and he gets out of the box well. He's even peeking to see where the ball is. If it's overthrown, he's flying. And now you got to worry about him stealing second.
One out. Here's Caminero. 1 for 4. And a strike.
That's a tough combination. 3.9 to first there. I mean, I thought his fastest time of the year was 3.96 or 7. That's really going. Did you see that Yarborough's really quick to home? Simpson can't really get a big lead because he's left-handed. You should have a shot to throw him out. And I would think that he would maybe let Caminero hit here.
Picked him off. Will they get him? Got him. That's caught stealing. And Kevin Cash going to talk things over with Dan Bellino. He has to be talking about a balk because obviously he can challenge the play if he thinks he's safe. He's clearly out.
Talking about him blocking the bag. Just a really good step-off move, and he got him. I mean, it's clearly not a balk.
And Cash is getting the umpires together to talk about it.
Second basemen or shortstops aren't supposed to be able to drop their knee, but Jazz doesn't drop the knee. The foot is in the way, but he's got other places to slide. So to me, this is not blocking the bag because there's places to go on the bag. It's when you put your knee down and you block the whole bag.
And they said it was fine. It had to be that, Joe, because you can't talk about a balk. You'll get thrown out if you argue about a balk.
Correct. I've done that before. Spring training.
You got thrown out of spring training?
Yes, I did. I had to show my player I was supporting him.
Now, Joe, do you get fined the way you fine in a regular season if you get thrown out of spring training?
I don't think I got fined in spring training, but I'm going to tell you what happened. The umpire told me that he thought he said the left-hander, it didn't look right. And if he does it again, I'm going to call it a balk. And I said, well, what is he doing? He says, I don't know, it just doesn't look right. I said, well, then you can't call it a balk if you don't know. He called the balk. I got tossed.
Now, did you tell the pitcher to throw over again just to...
No. This is my first year of managing.
Okay. I mean, your first year managing, you get thrown out of a spring training game. Word must have got around with the umpires. We got a beauty here.
Well, I believe in truthful explanations. Right? He said it didn't look right. But there's a lot of things in the game that don't look right, and you don't call a penalty on somebody.
A lot of things in the world.
Yes. Yeah. You got to have a reason.
1-2. Well, the Yankees can hold the Rays to a 0 in this inning. Well, they come up in the ninth. Stanton, Rosario, and Chisholm. They've got Grisham on the bench. And they've got McMahon on the bench as well as Escala. So Caminero works the count to 3-2. Checks his swing. He does not go, so Caminero works a walk. Well, fans, Yankee games on Yes are streaming live on the Gotham Sports app, included for free with your eligible TV provider subscription. Download and sign into the Gotham Sports app now and check out all the great Yankees content, including game highlights, post-game sound, and much more. So now lefty-lefty, Yarbrough against Aranda. And that one is looped toward third. On the backhand, Rosario makes the play, and that'll do it. Can the Yankees rally in the 9th inning? They're down by 2. Rakovich gets player interviews in the clubhouse, and we'll hear from Aaron Boone on the manager's report. That's all coming up next on Yes and the Gotham Sports app. We don't really say it enough. I hope you agree with me. Our studio is so great. Bob and Jack and Meredith, it's a must-watch. Pre-game, all the shows that we have now, and the post-game as well. So stick around. Brian Baker will try to close it out for the Rays. And the first guy up will be Giancarlo Stanton.
Really a good arm. A lot of strikeouts, 83 and 68 2/3 innings last year. But the great stuff that he has, he was victimized by the home run ball. He gave up 13 last year, Michael. Out of the bullpen.
31 years old, 6 big league season. He earned the save on Monday, and he had been a bright spot in a struggling bullpen so far. 4 innings of 1-run ball with 6 strikeouts and no walks. That one is blistered into left field. It's a base hit. So Stanton starts off the 9th inning with a single, and that brings the tying run to the plate.
This looks like a changeup that he tries to throw to Stanton. And Stanton's not bad on changeups. A little bit surprised that that was the pitch selection they used. He got that funny hit the other day where he hit the ball twice on the changeup.
Now he's letting Rosario bat against the right-hander. We told you he has 3 lefties on the bench available. 0-1.
Baker's always had a couple of different breaking balls that are really good. I'm sure Grisham will be ready for Grichuk. And then he'll have to make a decision about Caballero.
One and one. So Baker shows a lot of emotion on the mound in a big spot. He said he doesn't even remember his reactions when he gets the 3rd out. He said most of the time I just black out. The Yankees don't want him to black out tonight. 1-1. Up the middle and through for a base hit. Rosario with a hard single up the middle. And now the tying runs are on base as Stanton stops at second.
2 really good at bats by Stanton and Rosario. He stays on this breaking ball through the middle. He's got a good little bat flip. He's got a little style to him, Michael, which I like, and I think the players appreciate as well. Not showing anyone up, but just showing confidence in himself. It's really good. He's an emotional leader on this team.
Triple and a single tonight, so he's 2 for 3. And here's Chisholm. He's the go-ahead run at the plate. And a strike. Yankee offense, for the most part, lately has been dormant. Let's see if they have an uprising here in the 9th. Ground ball, second base. There's one on to first. Got him. A double play. Dan Fiorito will point to the dugout and say, look at that. I think they might not have gotten him.
And Jazz thought he was safe too. Yeah, they're going to check it first.
So Stanton stops at third.
I think he's safe, Michael. And you always got to check second first, and you got to tell the umpires what you're asking a replay on, because
he's safe.
Sometimes you could replay both, like if they come off the bag early at second base. So you got to be really clear about what you're challenging.
This is such a big challenge.
New York is challenging the out call at first base. The previous play is under review.
Yeah, he just beat it.
Yeah. Well, a pro-Yankee crowd cheering. They see it on the board that he's clearly safe. 20,511 for the Yankees and the Rays at the Trop on this Friday evening.
After review, the ruling on the field is overturned. The runner is safe. New York will retain its challenge.
It sounds like Yankee Stadium South right now. No. Now, Joe, why are they not pinch hitting for Grisham?
You know, I'm not sure, because I would like to have that hole at first base, and if he hits it in a double play, Trent never hits.
Right. Yeah, Grisham is on deck to pinch hit for Caballero. So first and third with one man out here in the 9th inning. Grichuk 0 for 8 so far as a Yankee. And a strike. Whole right side of the infield is open. Williamson way up the middle. Aranda holding the runner at first. There goes Jazz. The throw to second, not nearly in time. It's a stolen base. So now the tying run is in scoring position.
Fortes looks like he had a little problem with the exchange there, and once you do that, you should probably eat it. Let's see if he gets rid of this cleanly. Yeah, he had a little problem with it. He kind of threw it from his glove to his hand, didn't get it correctly the first time, and had to shift it a little bit.
Infield's back except for Aranda at first. They'll give up the run. Did he go? No.
So the reason he didn't do it is he knew that the Jazz was going to run. So the double play should be out of order. And he must feel a little bit better about Randall than Caballero in this situation.
Swing and a miss. Grichuk down on strikes, 2 away. So that'll bring up Grisham, pinch hitting for Caballero.
Good high fastball, 98, 99 miles an hour with some carry to it. Randall's not able to catch up. You're going to see the Tampa Bay pitching coach come out, give a scouting report here.
Grisham has been on base a lot. He's walked quite a bit, but he has not found his stride offensively, hitting 162. So it all comes down to this. 9th inning, first game of a 3-game set. As a pinch hitter in his career, Grisham, not much success. 6 for 52. 113 batting average with 1 home run.
You know what that means, Michael?
He's due.
He is due.
Stanton at third. Chisholm at second. Grisham pinch hitting for Caballero. 1-0. Wells is on deck. In pressure situations, high leverage situations last year, he slugged .846. That was the best in the majors. This is high pressure. This is late innings. And that one is popped up. Fortes doesn't see it. And it makes the seats.
We can throw my pregame right out the window with Nancy Newman, where I thought it'd be easier to see in here tonight. I got some bad info.
So Grisham, just over 8 innings on the bench and now up in the big moment. And he's down to his final strike.
Probably the best changeup that Baker has thrown all night. He gave up the hit to Stanton. He had some other ones. The guy swung over the top. This one had really good downward movement and that late run.
Stanton at third. Josh Chisholm at second. Rays lead 5-3. A 1-2 count on the pinch hitter, Trent Grisham. 2 outs here in the ninth. Popped up. Aranda and Williamson. Aranda makes the play, and the Rays hold on and beat the Yankees 5-3.
Well, the Yankees had their chances, and you're going to take a look at this pitch by Brian Breaker to get the 3rd out in this situation. A big situation. Starts him with a fastball up in the zone, and he's going to pitch north and south. Goes up again and gets Grisham to foul it off. Catcher had no idea. Then he goes down with a really, really good changeup. Throws another one, gets him out front, and gets him to pop it up to Jonathan Aranda.
So the Yankees fall short. This is the first game they've lost by more than 1 run. This one by 2. We'll come back, wrap things up. Post game after that. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Sage, proud accounting software provider of the New York Yankees. By Nissan, hop into a Nissan Rogue and hit the road to adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. And by the New York Lottery, this could be your lucky play.
Well, the Yankees got 2 in the first. Luis Hill got the first 2 hitters out in the bottom of the first. Ended up walking Aranda on a 3-2 pitch. In this game-changing drive, Michael.
It's brought to you by Audi and the all-new Audi Q3.
Yeah, was hit by Yandy Diaz. Went from the number 1 slot in the lineup to the number 4, and it paid off. He hit a 2-run homer on a hanging slider. Made the score 2-2.
We have more to do. Come on back with us, and then stay tuned for the postgame with Bob, Jack, and Meredith. Rays win 5-3. We take a look at the Chevy player of the game, Joe.
Well, Steven Matz used the combination of the low changeup and the high fastball all night to keep these Yankees hitters off bounds. You're going to see this changeup down and into Bellinger. 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts.
5-9-1 for the Rays, 3-5-1 for the Yankees. So 2 hours and 36 minutes. Matz goes to 3-0. Baker's second save. Luis Hill in his first start, his first loss. Ben Rice pinch hit home run in the 8th. Yandy Diaz had a big night as well. Coming up on the Yes Network, stay tuned for the WB Mason postgame show with Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Dan Barr, Mike Webb, and the executive producer of the Yes Network is Jared Ames Boschnack. Join us again tomorrow as the Yankees continue this weekend series in St. Petersburg. Coverage begins at 5:30 p.m. on Yes, with first pitch coming shortly after 6. Again, the final score, the Tampa Bay Rays 5 and the New York Yankees 3. For Joe Girardi and Meredith Morakovitz, I'm Michael Kay saying see ya from Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Now, let's go to Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry, who are standing by at our